So according to my understanding, the ending part of chapter 282 of Magi, it says that we are entering the final arc, and also we're going to be going on like a 1 month break. Now, I don't know if we're actually going to be having a 1 month break or not. That means we won't have a new chapter of Magi for maybe like a month and a half, which that's quite a long time, but I felt like this was a lot better way to kind of announce that we're entering into the final arc than what we did with, like, the news article. Just seeing how, you know, this arc wrapped up, and it says, like, oh, on October 28th of this month, Magi will continue, and it'll enter its final arc. So, right here, I felt like it was a better way to handle the announcement for, you know, the finale of Magi coming upon us. So, I missed reviewing chapter 281 last week, and the reason for that, if you watched my video the time I uploaded it, I uploaded my review of chapter 280 of Magi about an hour before the chapter came out. And then the chapter came out, like, soon as I uploaded my review, and I'm like, fuck, like, chapter 282 came out soon as I uploaded my review, and I'm like, So I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to review chapter 281. I want to wait until chapter 282 comes out for I can review both chapters. And so that's kind of why the review of 281 was so late, was because I was just waiting for both chapters to come out, because I didn't know when the next chapter would come out, because Magi has such a sporadic release schedule. I don't know when a chapter will come out, so I didn't want to review, like, you know, a Magi chapter and then review one right after that, and maybe the other chapter might have come out, because there was two chapters translated in the same damn day. So yeah. Now that I got that out of the way, let's talk about chapter 281 first. So, that chapter, we continue off where what happened in chapter 280, to where Hakuryu, he was going to be killing himself. And then Moore confronts him about this, talks to him, and throughout the entire chapter, we see Hakuryu make a stunning development, like some really great character development in that chapter, and good going Hakuryu, because for one thing, from what we found out, is that he starts realizing the path of vengeance is not the best path to go on. If you go down that path, you will have to give up many things to be able to accomplish your goals, what he has done throughout his journey, and he realizes what he has lost is irreplaceable. So on his path of vengeance, and with him realizing, like, how his vengeance is wrong, he realized he could not judge Koan. And so he let Koan survive. But, here is the thing. To us, or majority of the entire world, Koan is dead. Aladdin put up a smoke screen in front of everybody's eyes. So, to everybody's knowledge, Koan is dead. But, to certain individuals, Hakuryu has left Koan alive, for he can be exiled and do his own thing. So, majority of the people think Koan is dead, which is very good, because at the events of the end of the chapter of, 282, Koan being thought to be dead is actually a good thing, because he could possibly help out in the future for some form of attack against maybe Sinbad or Gyokuen. But before I get into them, let's continue back on to chapter 281. So with Hakuryu realizing how his path of vengeance is wrong, he comes to this revelation of where his Rook actually changes back to white. Like, it goes back to the white Rook. And I'm like, yo, he's actually not all 100%, fallen anymore. He actually went back to the white Rook. He doesn't have black Rook. And it just shows you how his mindset has changed with the events of what has happened in this arc. And that's a great stepping point for development. But then it leaves me to question, where is this development going to go? Because right now, think about this. At the end of chapter 282, Hakuryu's sister Hakue is kind of, her body's taken over by Gyokuen, his mother. The mother he sought out to kill since the beginning of the series. When he was introduced, his motive, his goal, his reason for vengeance was because of his mother, Gyokuen. And he finally took her out. And as I said at the end of that fight, the way she smiled, there was no way in fuck she was dead. But to see how his sister was taken over, and now Gyokuen is like in her body controlling her in some way, I wonder how Hakuryu will react to that. Like, I wonder, because it's eventually going to happen. Let's just face the music here. Eventually it's going to happen to where Hakuryu is going to see Gyokuen once again, probably in the finale. Since we are entering the final arc, that means that we're going to be getting into parts to where maybe characters are going to be dying permanently, to some bad things are going to be going down to where a character is going to be affected for the rest of their life, different things like that. So I wonder if Hakuryu sees Gyokuin once again what his mindset is going to be like. Because right now, he went back to the White Rook. He's kind of fine now. He's no longer completely fallen. But then you think about it like this, and you look at how Gyokuin is back right after this revelation. Is Hakuryu going to go back down the path of vengeance, or will something else happen? For now, though, what we can get out of Chapter 281 is that someone that I never thought would hate Sinbad has now set out for vengeance. Someone that has idolized Sinbad since the beginning of the series, someone that has loved him so much, is now wanting to get vengeance. So, we now have the vengeance card shifted over to another character. A character I don't think we all expected. Well, now thinking about it, I guess it was to be expected because of what Sinbad did to her. But, still, just to see how this character, how I saw this character develop, and, you know, her character traits of how she always idolized Sinbad since the beginning, and then turning around seeing, you know, her turn into this, where she wants to get vengeance, and that evil face she showed, it goes to show you what has happened, how her mindset has changed, and how she views Sinbad. So, she might be playing the Hakuryu role in this upcoming arc. I can see her playing that role, but I still believe that something bad will happen with Hakuryu. Like, he will realize that his mother is alive, and he's like, what the fuck? And, you know, he might go into spasm of vengeance, but we'll see how that goes. Now, moving past that chapter, since, actually, no, one thing I want to say about Chapter 281, more Best Girl once a fucking again, just sitting there stopping Hakuryu from committing suicide, giving him, you know, the smackdown, like with, you know, the conversations, telling him the truth, and then more saying, I'll be beside you, and if you ever do this shit again, I'll be there to make sure I stop you. Very good development, and then Aladdin as well, going to be doing stuff like that. Pretty fucking amazing. So, good job, Magi. Good job for this series being fucking amazing. So, now getting into the newest chapter that came out today. So, with Chapter 282, we switch back over to Judar and Alibaba. We get to see them through majority of this chapter, and get to see what they are thinking right now, to how long the journey is going to take. According to my understanding at the end of the chapter, it's going to take 2 years. It's going to take 2 years for Alibaba and Judar to get back to their world. In 2 years' time, a lot of shit can happen. Even in 6 months, a lot of shit can happen. A lot of shit can happen. For 2 years to pass, with the setup like it is, with Hakuryu now being crowned the Emperor in this chapter, to seeing an unexpected vengeance card shifted over, and then more things to with Sinbad and Gyokuin kind of forming an alliance, what could happen in 2 years? You don't really know. You don't know what could happen. Because right now, Sinbad controls majority of the world. Like, majority of the world is under his reign. Because, you know, the Alliance, the Seven Seas Alliance. And anything can happen in 2 years. I wonder how the world is going to be when we get the next chapter. Because I feel like the way it's going, we're going to have a time skip. We're probably going to have like a 2-year time skip, the way it's trying to imply that. So, in 2 years' time, what is going to change? How is it going to change? And, you know, is the world going to be controlled by Sinbad? Is there going to be some form of rebel army standing up to Sinbad? How is Gyokuin going to be amongst all of this? Is Hakuryu going to find out? A lot of questions right now, but the chapter sets up quite a bit for the finale of Magi. Now we just need that Season 3 of Magi to come out and end right here where this chapter ended off of, and then we wait for the final arc to be animated for Season 4. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.